Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all lives and genders, welcome back. Hold on, bro. Someone's calling.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on.
Really, bro?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all lives and genders, welcome back to a brand new episode of an Unnamed podcast. Like always, I am your host.
You sound really low to me.
With the most.
Everything sounds low for me. Oh, damn, way too loud.
With the most. It's been 90. Or simply just 90. With co-host
Lord Squid.
Lord Squid 69. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, I am a little sick today.
Lord is Southwestern Rand.
I am sick as hell. I almost died 2 days ago. I didn't do the with the most. You get it. We've been here before.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a little out of it. Like I said, I'm sick as hell. I'm sick as a dog.
So am I.
And we're both sick.
We just got off 40 milligrams in total of
absolute fentanyl.
Absolute, what's it called?
Absolute peak fentanyl.
Peak mindfulness, bro.
I am sick as fuck. I had the best sleep of my life last night, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's great sleep, amazing sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is brought to you in part by HB90 Corporations.
The fuck?
Yes, that's my new brand I'm starting. It's called HB90 Corporations or 90 Core, just so y'all know. Just kidding. Anyway, we got a brand new episode of an Unnamed podcast. What episode is this, bro?
We're like past the 40s now.
I think we're like episode 40. It's technically, if you want to be punctual, we're technically into season 2 now.
How the fuck?
I don't like doing that season shit. So we're just gonna keep going like the Joe Rogan podcast. He's like on episode 2000 some.
No, he's like on 10,000, bro.
Or whatever. But we're at episode 40 something. Anyway, also thank you so much for the Lacrima love, dude. Ghost fans are amazing. If you're watching this, and you're a Ghost fan, you could tell I'm a Ghost fan. We're technically both Ghost fans. Thank you so much for that, for all the views and the likes you gave us on that episode, on that reaction video. We truly do appreciate it. Also, to the people that commented on those videos, on the Satanized and Lacrima video and the Sleep Token videos, we're gonna do those reactions for you. We're just kind of trying to catch up on the podcast side of things, but we're gonna do those reaction videos for you one day or another. So thank you guys so much for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you to those 10 subscribers that subscribed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. It's absolutely free if you subscribe, just saying. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we truly do appreciate it.
We should have a fandom name.
The Unnamed. Unnamed.
The No Names.
No Names.
The No Namers.
The No Namers. That sounds like a little racist thing going on there. But we're No Namers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much to all of you guys who are watching day in, day out. Specifically Hepketo, if you're watching. I haven't, baby, where you been, bro? You haven't been commenting. You still watching? Shout out to the homegirl Kim, thank you for watching all these episodes. Truly do appreciate it. And all of you guys who are watching out there, thank you so much. Again, we're just doing this for fun. We're just doing this for shits and gigs. But if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If not, then I guess it's not going anywhere. But like I said, we're doing this for fun. So what's on the agenda today, bro?
You know what's not fun?
What's not fun,
Nintendo.
Bro? Nintendo, yes.
Yeah, because long story short, it's old news at this point, but we haven't talked about it. Nintendo comes out with the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yep.
Which has peak. The graphics are amazing.
1080p in 2025. It's something absolutely no one has ever done before.
1080p. And that's all I know, but that shit probably got 30 FPS. Some other bullshit. And to top it all off, digital copies, in-hand copies, physical, are, I think it was $90.
It's $80 for a physical copy.
Oh. And then
$70 for a digital copy.
Oh,
plus,
God,
here's the kicker, dude. Those who have digital copies, you technically don't own the game. You have to have a key pass to download the digital game.
That shit is so stupid. I even know about that.
Yes.
That is stupid.
That is something that shouldn't be. That's all I'm going to say. something that shouldn't be done. Why? Because in my eyes, and this could be my eyes only, but ladies and gentlemen, in my eyes, if you buy something, for example, I bought this Rodecaster, right? Obviously, I bought it used from somebody, but I bought it. I could do whatever I want with it, technically, because I paid my money for it. Same thing with the iPhone that we're recording. Apple, what's up? Sponsor us. I bought the iPhone. It's my property now. I bought it. I paid cold hard cash for it. Technically credit, but we're not going to get into that.
Oh God.
I bought it. It's my property now. Same thing with these headphones, right? So same thing with video games. I feel like if you buy a console, especially a console that's not going to be cheap, for something that goes for 1080p and it's going to be, damn near $500, I think you could do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with the game. If you buy the game, whether it be digital or a hard copy, it's your game now, bro. Like, you should do what you want with it. I don't understand why Nintendo's doing all these passes for. Personally.
I mean, the fact that you need to get a pass to, what is it, to play the game or install the game?
I think you need a pass to install the game.
That's fucking
which is
whack
stupid
as shit. That's like going to GameStop, peak mono for 2 shit, and being like, yeah, I got the copy, the physical copy, man, but you got to get that $30 pass to
activate the game.
Activate the game, bro. Like,
which
what
is
the
dumb.
fuck? It's stooge, bro.
It's dumb.
And then when you look at the new Pokemon game they came out with, what's it called? I forgot the fuck it's called. Bro. The graphics, Odapixel, the German guy that we watched.
Yeah.
He was in a reaction video. He was like, he looks like legitimately like concerned. He's like, this is 2025 graphics? Because it looks, and people were saying, oh, it's nostalgia purposes. And then he made a great point saying, if you want to make it nostalgic for Pokemon players, just do like the 8-bit 2D up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Like graphics and shit. Not this fucking 1080p.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen the graphics.
GTA San Andreas render trees and shit.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, they did show some Mario Kart. What is it? Mario Kart World, I believe it's called now. It's not Mario Kart 9, but it's Mario Kart World.
That
really one looks pretty good. But you also got to think about it, bro. It is a handheld game. It is meant to be handheld, so I understand where they're coming from. At least it's not PlayStation Portable graphics, PSP graphics back in the 2000s. At least it's not that. But, for a handheld game, 1080p, I think we could let it be, bars. Because, I mean, it's handheld purposes. If you want something that's, on your screen, then just buy a PlayStation, buy an Xbox, buy a PC, fucking, I don't know. But I'll let them slide with the graphics because it is handheld. But the prices for the games, dude, I don't know about that, bro. $80 for a physical game in 2025. You know how fucking tariffs are nowadays?
Bro, like, that shit not even funny, bro. Not even iPhone can get away with that shit, bro.
Like, for real, dude.
Motherfucker said, damn, we got how many planes did they borrow? Like,
I think it was like 6 planes, bro.
5 or 6 big ass planes filled with iPhones
to import them just so they don't get the tariffs, which is crazy too because of the whole tariff situation going on. I don't understand it either, because if you think about it, like, at the end of the day, the consumer is the one paying the tariffs because the taxes are going to go up. Not only did taxes go up in the state of California where we're from, but they went up from 10% to 11%, and apparently we voted on it. I didn't vote for shit, but I'm just saying. Apparently we voted on it. Nobody wants taxes to go up. Didn't we have a whole revolution because of taxes? That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, with this whole tariffs thing going on, $80 for a game, like, really? After tax and stuff like that, it's gonna be like $90, bro.
That's a fucking tank of gas now, man. That's
not
a full
only
tank of gas.
Not only that, think about it. Back in the day, $90 could get you a gold edition of a game, a collector's edition for a game, or even a those other ones that came in with, like, the bundles and shit. So technically a deluxe edition or something.
You can get all 4 DLCs with the camos.
Yeah.
With extra bullshit on top of it.
Back in the day, bro. Back in the day. That's what I'm saying.
And now you just get the base shit, and you got to pay more for a battle pass. Then you got to pay more for cosmetics and shit. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like,
which is stupid. Which it genuinely is stupid. Like, I feel like we shouldn't be doing that, especially with, like, games. I get it. We're not really fond with the Chinese people nowadays.
Bro.
I mean, I am. The government isn't, but I am. I don't discriminate. That's all I'm saying.
The whole tariff raising bullshit is pretty stupid because the United States was like, oh, let's raise it, and then China was like, let's raise it, bro. And I think
we're technically in a trade war right now.
And then I saw that I don't know if the U.S. made it up to like 285% or China did it to 285%.
Last time I checked, I think the tariffs for China were at 125% just for China alone. And then Canada and all these other countries are like in the 50s, 30s, 40s, something like that, which is dumb. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not going to help the economy.
I mean, fuck.
I'm not an economist, but I feel like it's not going to help the economy. Just saying.
I mean, real quick, honestly, God, dude, I just don't know why PlayStation or Nintendo can't just make a fucking... like make games like the PSPs were where you didn't need like internet.
Yeah.
Because you could whip out, bro, imagine like how cold it was way back when, let's say high school.
Yeah.
When you had a PSP and then your boys are like, y'all got your PSPs? And they're like, y'all got the games? You fucking put that bitch in. No Wi-Fi needed.
See, you're talking about people back in like the 2000s, bro.
Like no
when
Wi-Fi
I was in high
needed
school,
and shit, dude.
When I was in high school from 2013 to 2017. Which is 4 years, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 4 years. So I was in, what year are we in now? 2025?
Yeah.
17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, when I was in high school, the PlayStation 4 had just came out, I think.
Yeah.
Think about that realistically. So
it's been more.
Probably more than that, yeah. So what you're talking about people from like the 2000s, bro. Back in the day, it was a lot more chill, bro. That's all I'm saying. We need Bush back in office. That's all I'm saying. Because think about it. Life was good. You know, we were only at war with this, with what's it called? With Al Qaeda.
Yeah, the towers are still standing too.
The towers are still standing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I got something to say about that. Funny enough, it just reminded me because we said towers. So I was scrolling through Facebook the other night.
Okay.
Right? On my lunch at work, I was scrolling. And I come across a video from KTLA News, right? Tell me why these people were fucking talking about how this company, they're a restaurant, right? And they have a challenge called the Tower Challenge, which is you eat 2 towers of pancakes.
Oh,
and if you eat it under 9 minutes and 11 seconds, you get a free shirt that says I beat the Tower Challenge or something like that. And it depicts 2 towers of pancakes and it says 9/11 with a plane heading towards the fucking towers. Fuck? Now, a lot of you are going to be like the person that was complaining, right? Because the person that was complaining, typical Karen, by the way, typical white Karen. That sounds very racial, but it's not because it was true. She was white and she was, one of those typical Karen cuts and stuff. She was complaining and she was saying that it wasn't funny. It's not a joke, which is understandable. It was a terrorist attack. A lot of people did lose their lives. But how are we supposed to get through live bars, maybe, without a little bit of some laughs out there? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm a fucking grandma.
People gotta stop, being so sensitive nowadays.
No,
I personally look. Let me tell you this right now. I have a dark sense of humor, and people who do know me personally know that I have a very dark sense of humor. You could come out to my face and call me a goddamn wetback, and I will laugh. Why? Because it's funny to me. It's funny that you find racism in my eyes funny, because you're not gonna hurt me, bro. Honestly, like on some real shit, I've been in situations where people come up to me, and they call me a dirty boater hopping wetback, and I'm saying that nonchalantly because I've been called that. And to be honest, I just find that fucking hilarious, because what in your right mind makes you go to that extent that quick? Like, I just find that hilarious. Same thing with dark humor. Same thing with dark humor, bro. Like, I just find dark humor funny. Like, it's funny. And I feel like if you don't mean it with ill intent, you don't technically mean any harm, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but, you know, if we're probably going to get canceled for this episode.
Bro,
but
you're speaking like a true Instagrammer, bro. A true grammar, bro.
I'm saying
unlike
because
them tickers.
Because it's funny, dude. Like, it's funny. Like, dark humor to me is genuinely fucking hilarious. And not only that, but like when people like go to the extreme and they're losing a battle and they just start calling you fucking racial slurs, like, it's funny because to me, like, you already lost the battle. As soon as you said that racial slur, you lost the battle, dude. Now I'm more mature than you because I'm laughing at something that's supposed to be offensive to me. I'm sorry, but
it's like this one video I see where it's
sorry, dog.
Like this road rage on Instagram, and it's this guy in his truck, and there's this lady filming him. I don't know how the fuck they got into this argument. The white guy, I'll try to find it. He goes,
Hey, go on a diet, you fat bitch.
I can't wait till you die of cancer with that shit in your hand.
You're gonna die of fucking beans and tortillas, bitch.
But the way he says it, it's like he doesn't care what he does not care at all. And he doesn't care if he gets called whatever it is by this white chick. And the one thing that I hate, bro, that I absolutely fucking hate with people who are sensitive as shit is specifically people who get offended on another person's behalf when they got nothing to do with it. For example, right? Let's just say we make a fucking World War II joke, orange, black, and white. If you know, you know. And then somebody's like, "That wasn't funny, man. I'm offended." It's like, dog, you're from Canada. What the fuck do you want to be involved with? What are you supposed to be offended about? About the Jews, huh? You got nothing. You're a Californian Starbucks bitch, and you're trying to get offended on a Jewish person's behalf? Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah, that's funny because when I got called that racial slur. Somebody that was with me, I'm not gonna say any names, but somebody that was with me got offended for me, and
like,
I was laughing,
why?
dog. I was laughing,
Like,
and then
why? What the
she was
fuck?
like, she thought I was crying because when I laugh, I sound like I'm crying, and she was like, "It's okay, you don't have to cry." I'm like, "I'm not crying, I'm laughing." I was like, "It's just funny, dude. Like, it's funny to me. Like, why go to that extent? Like, you know, you're losing the battle. Why go to that extent and just call me a racial slur?" Like, that's just funny in my part. It shows that you're ignorant, one. And two, it shows that you're not mature enough. And three, it shows that I don't give a fuck what you say. Honestly, like, I'm sorry, but I don't. I really don't.
That shit is just so stupid, bro. Like
That's probably why we don't get sponsored, just saying.
oh my grandma, bro.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, honestly, like.
And the worst case scenario is just like, look,
Stop being sensitive.
well, if
Stop
that's
being sensitive.
it's easier said than done for some people. Well, I mean, like the worst fucking case scenario. I mean, I still remember this. It was yesterday with the Redskins, Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
We'd be like, "It's so offensive to the Redskins." I'm like, dog, you are a 100% Caucasian male or female.
From the mountains of
You
Caucasus.
took over their fucking land, and you want to be offended by them? Why
Or
don't you?
for them. You want to be offended
You
for
want
them.
you want to be offended for that? Why don't you cancel your fucking ancestors? As a matter of fact, because you want to take it that far, why don't you just like switch your last name to, like, you know, if you really want to support the Native Americans, the first settlers, well, the first person to discover North America, my boy Leif Erikson, he was like, "There's nothing here. Check. We gotta leave." He was like, "There's no treasure."
Leif Harrison. Who's that?
Yeah, Leif Erikson.
Never. I don't know who that is.
He was the first Viking to ever discover North America.
How do you know this?
I watch Vikings. It's literally like documented. He was like, he came to North America. He was like, there's no treasure, guys. It's just barren.
There is no treasure.
Barren way. And it's pretty cool because he would always tell his dad, because they would always sail. He's like, I swear, like in the north, there's land over there.
Yeah.
But they never believed him until he was like, I found it. But then he was like, there's nothing here. I guess we go back. Until Christopher Columbus was like, look what I found. All you Native Americans fuck off. He's like, all of you fuck off.
You know, people also do get offended by that, by the Christopher Columbus stuff.
Cancel him.
No, hold on. No, they did cancel him, actually. It's not called Christopher Columbus Day anymore or Columbus Day.
What the fuck is it called?
It's called Indigenous People Day now.
Okay, bet.
This was a while ago. This was like years ago. This was when I was still in high school. They canceled the whole Christopher Columbus Day or Columbus Day and changed it to Indigenous People Day because look, honestly, Christopher Columbus was kind of a dick. Every single one of the what's it called? What is it called? The people that come, the fuck, what is it called?
The what?
The conquistadors.
Okay, that's a big word.
Yeah, because I think Christopher Columbus was like he was a Spaniard, wasn't he?
They came from the east, so
Yeah,
probably,
he came from Spain, I think. I could be wrong. But Christopher Columbus, when he came over here to the now what's called the United States or North America at the time, he did do a lot of sinful and dark acts to the Native Americans. Not saying that he's right about that, but I'm just saying, he was kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
But this happened years ago, man.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay.
I remember seeing him making it to land, and I was like, something's about to go down.
Back in the day, I wasn't there, but I'm just saying he did some very unholy acts to these Native Americans.
He literally one time used science, because at that time they were doing like it was gonna be like a red moon or a blood moon.
I don't know.
Yeah, like during the night, or no, it was a solar eclipse. And then he was like, my God is better than your God. And if you don't give us like some food or some land, he will wipe the sun from the sky tomorrow. And you got 24 hours to give me my shit. Courtesy of Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then the next day, the fucking sun goes out. They're like,
he is right.
He is right. The fucking God is powerful than ours, dude. That is insane. Give this man everything he needs.
So here's the thing. Here's my political view on all that stuff. It's not really political because I don't get into politics. But my view on that is it happened years ago. There's no way in hell we could change what happened. All right, whatever happened. For example, you could be watching this 300 years in the future. My look could be outdated. It probably is outdated now, but I'm just saying my look could be outdated. And you're probably watching this, 200, 300 years in the future. What's up? And you're probably saying, well,
this is why you never made it.
Yeah, this is why you never made it. But, like this was the times back then. You're going to be like, well, that's how they acted back then. That's the way they were back then.
Their brain rot was so exquisite.
Yeah, like, they're going to be studying us and be like, damn, like that's how people thought back in the day. Same thing with us now, in the Christopher Columbus days and like back in the day, like for example, when they, publicly executed people in France.
We need that still. We need public executions.
We've talked about that before, yes. But I'm just saying, like, back in the day, it was like, okay, it was normal. Back in like I think like the last execution was like in 1970 something, of the guillotine. And people still found that, entertaining. People would go out there and see people get executed. Now, if you try that nowadays, people are going to start an uproar. Like, think about it. If Governor Newsom, who, because we live in Cali, but if Governor Newsom said public executions are going to be now a public thing, hence the name public execution. We're going to execute, these people in downtown LA at so-and-so time.
Oh my God. On Skid Row.
Come watch. People are going to throw a fucking fit. People are going to be like, this is unethical. This is that, whatever. Back in the day, they would have been like, oh shit, you going to that public execution?
We got to call out.
I'm calling out of work. I got to make it. Like, I got to go. Back in the day, it was normal. Nowadays, if you started again, people are going to start an uproar.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
We need to start a dialogue on this part. We're going to start a dialogue. Famous words of Charles Barkley, where there's a woman that put up a sign that said, if animals can be put down for attacking and biting, and even just like a child's arm, hand, or whatever, and they could be put down, why can't the same be done to pedophiles? Because even if fucking Billy Old Joel over here just fucking went, hey little girl, what you want, little girl, and then shit, and then she's traumatized for life, and you know, it goes further and shit. Well, I mean, I'll just say what the fuck science said. Like, if animals can be put down, any animal, then why can't pedophiles be put down and shit?
Because again, it's an ethical thing. Think about it. People put down animals every day, right? People put down animals every day. A lot of people think that animals, whether it be cows, pigs, you know, sheep, dogs, cats, people think that animals aren't conscious. Like they don't think like we do, you know? Now, if you do that to a human, again, there goes the ethical issue. Should we really be putting down people because they did something wrong? Believe it or not, if you were to have a friend, right, that for whatever reason decided to go touch his little neighbor,
What the fuck?
right? He went to go touch his neighbor, his kid. He became a pedophile, you know, and they wanted to put him down. If you were really close with this man or this female, you know, people are going to be like, well, I don't, you know, his close friends are going to be like, well, you shouldn't be doing that, man. You know, he's just sick. They're going to come up with excuses. And then if you decide to put him down because they did this, it's a moral issue. They're going to be like, well, he just made a bad decision. Give him another chance. And there goes that ethical issue. Like, should we really be putting down people for one mistake?
Look at people who murder other people, bro, just because they stole their PlayStation, dude. There's people out there.
Well, you see, when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to
an eye for an eye, that's what I'm
the
saying.
that whole issue of like, well, this person murdered that person. Technically, it could be in self-defense, right? For example, if you got jumped, dog, right? And you got jumped and the guy had a gun and you had a gun and you were able to draw your gun quicker and you shot him to death, you're going to tell the cops, I shot him because he was trying to rob me. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, they'll take you to trial, whatever. And if the jury finds you, you know, non-guilty of all accounts on murder or whatever, you know, they'll find you not guilty, but they'll find you guilty for, you know, I don't know, what's a word? Not manslaughter, but there's another word for it where it's self-defense, you know, and obviously you're not going to get a lot of time, or fuck it, you might not get time at all because it was in self-defense. Yeah. So same thing when it comes to that, like, you know, if there's a murder case and it turns out, okay, well, we executed this man, but then you find out later that, oh, shoot, he technically was innocent because it was in self-defense. There goes another issue, another moral, ethical issue. Should we really be putting people down right away because, you know, they did this without actually us proving it? You know what I'm saying? Mm. And it's just going to be time and money if you think about it. Because if they do go with it, like let's say they do it, right? They do say, okay, we're going to be putting people down. For example, just an example, I'm not saying this happened. Lord Squid, you have been convicted of, you know, murder of the first degree. And you're going to be like, bro, I didn't do it. And now you get executed and you're gone because you murdered someone in the first degree. 2 years later, oh shit, he was actually innocent. Well, how are we going to get him back, bro? If he's already gone, know, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think also
it becomes a whole moral issue, dude.
I mean, that whole thing is stupid. I mean, especially like, let's just say, for example, right? What's that dude's name? The guy who killed Gabriel Hernandez or Fernandez. His stepdad straight up tortured him to death, and I think he got the death penalty. And his mom, who was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let it happen and shit. In my eyes, I'm like, why the fuck doesn't the mom get the death penalty too? Like, that's her kid, and she let it happen.
No, it's true. It's very true when it comes to certain examples. But that's why we have the whole law issue and the whole law system in place, because, you know, we have to hold people accountable. Some people get really lucky, and even if they did do it, if murder was the case, you know, they get found non-guilty, even though they did do it. So it technically is kind of a hit or miss, but, you know, most of the times we do hit them. We do get them.
All I'm saying, man, is the United States ain't no United Nation, man. It's just I mean, if we were united, we'd all have the same laws, the same shit. You know, going back to that one economic shit you're talking about. Oh, I had a thought where
Okay.
I was like, why don't the states that get no income tax, or that, like, for example, California, people are
Okay.
like, it's so luxurious here and stuff. I'm like, yeah, unless you're like fucking making what, 200,000 a year and shit, and you can still live off of that. And I saw
Probably more than that.
and I saw something about like how they did like the tax equations and shit. And I think somebody making like 150,000, 200,000 made what, like, after taxes and all the fucking money grabbing shit, they walk away with like 75 grand or something.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And the supposed amount to live here in California is like what, 80,000?
So look,
like-
realistically,
like
if
what?
if you make right, realistically speaking, if you make, because I know people that make $150,000 a year, right? Personally, I know them. If they make more than $150,000 a year, they're still technically living like normal people. Why? Because of taxes, bro. I genuinely think if you live in California, North or South California, whatever, or West or East or whatever, if you live in like, for example, San Francisco, if you live comfortably in San Francisco, you have to be making, bro. You have to be making more than like
300 bare minimum.
300,
Bare
400,000 a
minimum.
year.
Yeah.
And I'm talking comfortably, like you don't worry about bills. You know, you barely work, 3-4 days out of the week and you're chilling. For example, like big YouTubers. Like if a big YouTuber, like let's say PewDiePie could he can live very comfortably, in California, right? After bills, taxes, paying editors and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure he could live very comfortably in California. Somebody like the average Joe, my neighbor, James, not his real name, but James. If James is making $70,000 a year, that motherfucker is struggling in Cali. And I mean struggling. Why? Because rent alone is like $1,800 a month. Not including bills, not including expenses like gas, regular toothbrushes and toothpaste and all that stuff.
Miscellaneous things and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Miscellaneous items. My boy James is struggling. He needs some help.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
And I was talking with some of my family members. I'm like, why don't states like Texas, right? Like, if you look at the average, like 200, no, what was it? The average, like $500,000 house here where we live compared to one in Texas, bro, it is like if it's like fucking Michael's house in GTA to what's the dude's name?
Trevor's house.
To Trevor's fucking trailer park. And I'm like, what the fuck? And in my eyes, I'm like, if people who are being taxed that much in Cali, why like to Texas motherfuckers, why don't they get taxed more like Florida motherfuckers do too?
I think
Cali gets taxed less.
I think Cali gets taxed a lot more, and we have a lot more, higher percentages because California became like the go-to state. For example, back in the day, if you lived in California, you were like, "Damn, I'm living in Cali, bro." Like, oh my God, you're living in Cali.
That was like the dream, bro.
You're a Cali person. You live in
LA?
You live in Hollywood?
What?
Dude, that's crazy. And if you said I live in San Francisco, oh my God, you live in San Francisco?
I live in the Bay Area. Live in the
Dude,
city, bro.
That is insane. You must be packing, and I'm not talking about down there.
Mm-hmm.
You must be fucking packing money.
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, it's like you live in San Francisco. Damn, that's ghetto as hell.
Yeah, bro. You just stepping
You
in
live
shit
in
every
LA?
other.
Are you sure you're doing okay, Bars?
Yeah, man. You sure you don't got fentanyl laced in your shit? Dude?
That, yeah. Nowadays, the California now and the whole California in general has become such a wasteland of
grandma, man.
Gang activity, drugs, homelessness, and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
And I think the government has to do a lot with it.
Possibly.
Why? Because they're not telling us the earth is flat.
Oh my fucking God.
Look, I will go to the grave to say that the earth is fucking flat, bro. I'm sorry, but it's flat, dog. Like, for example, Jeff Bezos sent his ex-wife or his current what is it called? Spouse, his fiance, to space with Katy Perry of all people.
That shit is so stupid, man.
They come back down to earth and they open the door before Jeff Bezos could open the door. I seen it on the clips of the news. If you could find a clip of that, put it up there. I seen a clip of that. Do I really think they went to space? No, I don't. I really don't. I really don't.
They go like, butt fuck International Space Station, or like in between the middle of the Earth and the moon space. They like, let's say this is the Earth. They went, or this is like the very like outer edge of it. They literally went like that much higher, and then they came back down. So they touched like the booty cheek of space.
I'm just saying though, like, why send Katy Perry? What the fuck is Katy Perry gonna do for us?
Why send anybody up there just for a fucking, hey, look what I did?
I mean, if you're Jeff Bezos,
That
and
is
you're
my
making,
tax money going to that shit.
I'm just saying, look, if you're Jeff Bezos and you have money, billions of dollars to
Hundreds
spend,
of billions.
I would do it too. I'm not hating on Jeff Bezos. Look, all I'm saying is, bro, look, send me up there, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Send me up there. I will become a true alien. Send me out there, dog. I will be like, yes, and I will record and say the Earth is flat.
Fuck. This shit is flat. Everyone, look at that shit. It's like, it's gonna be that one meme. It's like, the Earth is flat. Always has been.
It always
shot.
And another thing too, bro. I was thinking about this. This isn't on our topic list, but what I was thinking about earlier is like, we kind of talked about this. Like, are people born with talent? Now, in my head, are people born with intelligence?
Maybe.
Or is it taught? Because, for example, right, we were talking about what's his name? Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla. A couple episodes back, or might have been last episode. And we were talking about how they were like the smartest man alive, right? Were they born with that, bro? Did God just say, I'm going to give you intelligence? This is going to be your peak performance? This is your, time to shine moment?
I don't know, because there are a lot of things where you look at, let's say, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was always, I don't know about always, but he was strangely into like space and the cosmos, and thanks to his teacher, actually, shout out his teacher, whoever the fuck it is, was like, yo, like, I would literally transfer you to like another like class to learn about that. Well, and if it wasn't for that, he'd probably be where he is now, but maybe not at the same like notoriety.
Here's my thing, bro. I'm into space. I'm into all that stuff, but I can't comprehend it. Like, I can't. Like, for example, if you were to tell me, oh, well, 37 light years away, there's a planet that is similar to Earth and da-da-da-da-da. My brain is not going to... What the fuck is a light year?
It's how far light travels in 1 year.
So,
which is very fucking fast.
And then again, too, like... if I say, okay, well, what's faster than that light year? And you say, well, technically,
light is the only
we don't know, because the fastest thing we have right now is light. Yep. Are you sure about that?
See, it's people like you with that type of shit where it's like, dog, like, let's just leave him. Let's go somewhere else.
No,
like,
you got to think about it, bro. Think about it. So if you're telling me light is pretty fast, right? Light is faster than the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it is.
Way faster than that.
Really?
What's faster than light?
Maybe the Big Bang when it first fucking...
What is faster than light? Think about that. What's faster than light? And if light is so damn fast, why is it that star I see right over there is technically not real?
What is that supposed to mean?
Think about it. They say that light takes time to travel.
Yeah.
So if I'm seeing a star right now, and I were to go to it, and I go to it where it's at, right, where the star is located, the star could be technically dead.
Yeah, that's probably what the case is.
But I'm just saying, technically, it's not a real light.
Oh my fucking Christ!
I'm just saying, bro, because if it's out there, and I go to it, it should be there. But when I get there, it's not.
Space is pretty fucking fat, dude.
Space is fucking fake.
It's pretty fat. It's pretty cool out there,
Not only is the government lying about the Earth being round, they're also lying about space. Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
I'm
dude,
just saying.
I was on the internet, right?
Okay.
And then there's these people who are on the internet day in and day out who are just like, the internet is free, man. Let's just leave a digital footprint that incriminates us and shit.
Okay.
Like, for example, I have it like written down, and I think I have the video too. Oh my goodness, dude. It was about this girl on Twitter who said she was dating a blind guy and a deaf guy, and decided to give him a little sloppy top
Okay.
with that Gawk 3000. And then the funny part is that towards the end, it's written down, and towards the end, she says, because he can't talk, as I'm doing the deed, I get a message, and it just has him with that says, you're not doing it right, sad face with the little 2 dots and the fucking C. And it's just, and I was like, what the fuck? And people were saying like, dog, even the deaf guy was like, what the fuck is wrong?
Up, bro.
Even this was so funny as fuck, because it's like, because people in the comments are like, how the fuck does he know if you're doing it, if it's right or wrong? Like, how many other bitches has he fucked?
Dude, he's deaf. He's not,
I know, but like, still
disabled.
The funny part is how he just put, you're not doing it right, sad face. Like,
well, obviously, I mean,
that's the funny part. He's just like, you're not doing this right. And she just has the audacity to be like, yeah, I gotta share this, man. I need to get this off my chest.
that's what's very dangerous about this internet. And I think that's why aliens don't visit us.
Bro,
They'd be seeing our videos and they'll be like, you know what? I don't think this is. For example, they're gonna see this video, right? Aliens, if you're watching, and I'm not talking about
Viva Mexico.
Mexicans.
Right.
I'm talking about, actual extraterrestrial aliens. If you're watching this, what's going on? Sponsor us.
I just
dog.
realized there's a permanent dent on your fucking bed.
Is there?
There's
I
just a
see it.
permanent dent.
It's because my big ass head be laying back on there like that.
There's another video too I saw where I'm like, dude, what happened to keeping secrets and shit?
No,
So-
there's videos I've seen, bro. Like, for
No.
example, bro, hold on.
Oh no.
Why do people, right?
Okay.
They put things on like, these are people that are, I think, in my eyes, think they're cool, but they're not.
Okay.
People that put like those like alpha male, cringy ass TikToks out there and you Instagram videos of like them pretending they're like a fucking alpha wolf. Like, what in your right mind makes you say, I'm gonna post this online? Like, that's badass. What makes you say that, bro?
What do you mean, like an alpha wolf? Like
Like, like those
the
those
furries?
no, not furries. Like those people that are like, oh, like, I gotta show my alpha wolfness, and then they're like, doing just cringy shit, dog.
There's the ones that I kind of like.
The ones that do like those like anime facial expression things.
Oh fuck. No,
yeah,
those
like
are,
what makes you say?
Nah, but the ones
that's a dope video. I'm gonna post that and see how many likes I get.
no, like the ones that are cringy as fuck. It's like the one where it's like my kitten. It's oh gosh, it's cringy as fuck. It's like my kitten, and the guy's just recording himself, and he's like mogging.
Yes,
And then it's like my kitten, like I'm about to poop, and then he's like, can you hold it in? But he's like lip syncing it, and then he gets like shit on this. It's a doll hand, and he goes, and people in the comments like, you really recorded this,
Yeah,
edited this,
yeah.
and you're like,
This is gonna get a lot of likes.
this is gonna do numbers, man.
It's gonna do.
I'm like, what
crazy
the
numbers.
fuck? And the story I wanted to tell, dude, oh my god, she was actually a plot twist of a millennia. This girl, it was her and her, I'm assuming her fucking husband. They were in the shower, and then I guess they just started pissing, right? They just started pissing, and I already don't like where this is going, even though I've already heard this story. She's like, we were pissing, right? And he starts pissing on my leg. And then he's like, I'm pissing on your leg, huh? And then she goes, yeah, well, I'm pissing back right on you. And then he fucking, oh my God. And then she says, he then tells me, too bad you weren't looking, catch this. And he this whole time, he's been cupping the piss in his hands without her looking. Her own piss, and goes, it says, catch this, knuckle face, and throws it at her fucking face. And then she said, that's when I knew he was the one or something. And then and that's how we got to this point where some of the internet on the comments said, what happened to keeping secrets in our diaries?
Yeah,
Like I see you on, you're telling me this inside of your car, and you just said, yeah, this is, people got to know about this.
because look,
I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
because look, people are gonna, for example,
I'll call you piss face if I see you.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know what's going on in people's heads, like when it comes to that stuff. I'm sorry, but do the internet a favor. When it comes to your romantic ideologies and your fantasies and your lustness Keep that to your fucking self.
Oh my mama,
Please.
bro.
Nobody wants to hear how you were sucking on toes. No one wants to hear how you were doing nasty shit. Anything that involves fecal matter, keep to your fucking self. Please. For on everything that you love, on your great grandma, keep that to yourself, please. Because when it comes to like fecal matter, dude, like for example, when I seen that fucking Twitter,
Bro,
dude,
it's videos like these ones, dude.
Oh
Look
my
at this. Look
fucking
at this
God,
fucking
bro.
shit.
those are the ones I'm talking about.
Like,
Record
what
it
the
so you can put
fuck?
it on there, dude.
These are fucking
Hold on,
terrible.
let me put the video. That one's not that bad. That one's like, okay, it's cringy, but it's not that bad. Now, obviously, if you're doing it just to get negative reactions, congratulations. You did your job. Because here we are talking about it, giving you credit for it. But if you legitimately think that video was funny and that video was like, yeah, this is
Like, that was such a cool.
totally gonna kick ass, bro. Like, no, bro, you got a problem, dog. Like, relax.
Those shits are fucking terrible, dude. Same thing with like these movies and shit that be coming out with lately. Like fucking.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
Like what the fuck
Like
is it?
Snow White and
Snow
the
White,
Seven
there you go.
Dwarfs. What in your right mind made you say, yeah, we're gonna do a live action video of that? Not only that, the people that you casted, bro. Like, you could have gotten anybody else to do Snow White. Same thing with The Last of Us.
Fuck that actress.
So The Last of Us season, okay, let me put it like this. The Last of Us season 1 came out a couple years ago, right? Or yeah, I think it was like a year or so ago, 2-3 years ago. It was a great adaptation of it. That was the only series / I guess you could say film from a video game adaptation that they got right. The casting for Ellie, I forgot her real name. Look up her name, please. I forgot her real name. Bella something. I think her name is Bella, right? No.
Wait, what year to come out?
Just put The Last of Us Max or something like that. Bella Ramsey. She was a great adaptation for Ellie Bars in the first season. I didn't really like her, right? But the internet completely fucking hated her. The internet is giving her shit because she is a terrible adaptation for Ellie. Now, in the second season, I understand that because Ellie was grown. Ellie was more, mean-spirited. And Ellie was like a badass. Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us Season 2 doesn't look that menacing.
No.
The one they casted for the other chick, what was her fucking name? The buff bitch?
Abby?
Abby. The one that they casted for Abby looks more like an Ellie than a Gabby. If that makes sense. I personally believe that you gotta make better casting calls, man. Like, for example, I personally didn't see the Snow White movie
Yeah.
because I heard it was absolute ass.
This is terrible, dude.
Just by the trailers alone, I was like, yeah, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be bad.
I didn't think Minecraft was going to be as big as it was. That shit is so funny. Fucking funny, though, dude.
I have not seen it.
Chicken jockey.
I mean, I get it. I'm not a Minecraft fan. I don't know the Minecraft lore or any of that stuff. So I don't know. But, I mean, it looks like an interesting movie,
Yeah.
But, like, when it comes to, like, the Snow White movie, like, what were you fucking thinking, man? And then people are hating on the Lilo and Stitch girl because Lilo and Stitch came out with the live adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
And people are hating on Lilo and Stitch, the little girl that plays Lilo. Dude, she's a great fucking fit for Lilo, dog. Like, on some real shit. Like, I see that and I'm like, yeah, that fits the animated character. She looks like a Lilo. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, look at, like, How to Train Your Dragon, too, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm just like, listen, dude, like, I fucking hate how they're like, we got to have, what is it?
It's not really How to Train Your Dragon 2. It's How to Train Your Dragon.
No, like, How to
Also.
Train Your Dragon, like, T.O.
Yeah, like also look at How to Train Your Dragon. Proper English is very important.
That shit is so fucking ass. Like, listen, if you want to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, what is that word that I'm looking for, bro? I just realized a pizza can be a cross. Anywho, like, I get that you want to have different ethnicities, different cultural groups and shit. But I mean, like, look what happened with the Little Mermaid, dude.
Didn't see it.
I mean, take notes, man. People were like, because the Little Mermaid, she's not in the Disney movies and the cartoons. She's white, right?
Okay.
White skinned. And then when the people were like, oh, she's gonna be, played by an African American actress, people were like, why? And shit, like literally why? You could have had like any white person would have done good and shit. And I understand that too. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do next? Have live action SpongeBob, instead of it being played by Tom Kenny, it's gonna be played by the fucking Rock. Like, huh? Like if SpongeBob had like a live adaptation.
Oh yeah.
Like when you think of Mr. Krabs, right? Like your boss especially.
Yeah.
Like there's something about him where he's like,
he looks like a Mr. Krabs.
Like he fits Mr. Krabs perfectly. But they gonna give him like some fucking like some Indian dude who's buff, muscular and shit and be like, the money's so good. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like
you see when it comes
with
to
Tom
that
Kenny and shit too, like if they have like the actual voices,
yeah.
Like why not just get like Tom Kenny and have like somebody who I don't know, like can fit a SpongeBob role, but that'd be hard as fuck because you can't really portray a sponge.
Yeah, as an actor.
But it's just stupid, like with these with Disney movies, especially. It's like,
look, bro, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to the casting, like for example, on How to Train Your Dragon, I didn't really care, bro. Honestly, I don't care, dog. Like, I didn't care. Same thing with the Little Mermaid, bro. With the Little Mermaid, I didn't care if they chose a black mermaid. Honestly, to me, it doesn't make any fucking difference. It really doesn't.
I never even seen the reason.
As long I haven't seen the original either. As long as it's good, bro. Like if it's not cringy and like they don't try to politically.
Are you into musicals though?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't watch it because I haven't even watched the original. Matter of fact, I didn't even watch the original Lion King. I watched the live action Lion King. I liked it. It was good. Same thing with the one that has Beyonce's daughter or son or some shit like that. The Lion King Mufasa or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that movie like 2 times. It was a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, did I care who was playing what or who was playing who? Not really. Do not give a fuck. It was a good movie. Was it a little cringe? Yeah. But I mean, I still liked it. My point is, to me, it doesn't matter about the casting. As long as the video, or as long as the movie is good. As long as it's good and it's not cringe and it doesn't have any political agenda to it and as closest to the original as possible, I'll watch it. I don't care. You know? I'm just saying.
I mean, fuck, dude.
That's all I'm saying.
The Plankton movie? That shit came out and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and like the whole SpongeBob stuff, like they just made that shit cringe, bro. Honestly, like the old SpongeBobs were funny, dude. Like they were funny.
It was supposed to end in 2004 with the movie.
Yeah, I heard.
Until these fuckers like, no.
Like for example, like the old SpongeBob, after everything after the SpongeBob movie, is kind of cringe because the animation style, and there
were some hits after it.
Yeah, and 2, like
but now
they just try too hard. Yeah. Like for example, with the new episodes, like SpongeBob, there's nothing wrong with it, but SpongeBob sounds a little too gay. Look, ain't nothing wrong with it, but like I'm just saying, like he just sounds a little too feminine. He acts a lot feminine, and it's just like they try so hard with the close-ups and all this like facial stuff that they do. Like they try too hard. Like you're trying too hard. Just make it funny. Like make it funny.
I mean, like it could just be something because like that one joke when SpongeBob is SpongeBob and is it Mrs. Puff? But it's SpongeBob like in a high-speed chase, and the 2 officers are like, yeah, like beat him up. This was such a
we'll straighten you up. We'll straighten you up. And then they're
like,
beating up the freaking fire hydrant.
And the other one is like, he's like, now let's get that one. And it's all crooked and shit. And he's like, holy smokes, you see that? And he's like, yeah, he's going over the speed. Like he's going over the speed limit as if he just didn't run over 5 people. And then they're like, he got over the speed limit. Let's go get him.
Or like, for example, when they're talking to Sandy, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's still the worm. And then Sandy says something, and then the worm makes a noise, and then SpongeBob's like, "Sorry, I don't speak Italian."
Oh,
Like, come on, simple shit like that just makes it fucking hilarious.
those are like funny as fuck, dude.
That makes it funny.
They just can't make shit like that anymore, dude.
Or like when Plankton, like in the movie when he's like fucking sniffing the Plan Z,
Oh yeah.
and he's like, oh,
Oh.
and then you hear doo 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 the song and shit. Like that's funny. Or like when they're trying to like do something with Squidward, and then they knock on Squidward's mom's door, and then she's like, "Hi boys," and then all you hear is "Da-da-da,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like they start beating up the bag, and then they're like, "It's not gonna fit," and then Mr. Krabs is like, "I'll make it fit." And like, you know, and then she comes out of the corner. She's like, "Oh, thanks for the laundry, boys." Like, that's just fucking hilarious.
Like those, I'm so sure that if the episode where Mr. Krabs went into, wait, what was it, like the panty thief?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if
the
that
panty
episode-
raid. The
if
panty
that-
raid
the
thief.
panty raid. If that episode aired today,
People would
man,
be
that
so
shit
fucking
would be
offended.
fucking canceled.
Funny
dude.
enough, I don't know if you noticed, but I was watching a video. I was on TikTok a couple nights ago. I think it was like 2 nights ago. I couldn't sleep. I woke up at like 12 in the morning. Couldn't sleep. Went to sleep at 6 to 12. Couldn't wake up. I couldn't go to sleep after 12 o'clock. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on TikTok. So there's an episode of Drake and Josh where they're in the movie theater, and Drake and Josh find something out, and they win an award or something. And then Drake is like, "I gotta kiss somebody," and so Drake starts making out with one of the girls, and then Drake is like, or the girl's like, "What was that for?" And Drake is like, "Oh, I just won an award," and she goes, "Okay," and they start making out, and then Josh does the same thing, and he's just kissing another chick, and then he was like, "I just won an award." And then the girl goes, "Congratulations," like deep as fuck. And then he spits out a gum, and he's like, "I wasn't chewing gum." So they put that episode, I believe it's on Disney Plus.
No.
They put that episode on Disney Plus.
Oh no.
Now that's a fucking funny scene, dog.
my
That's
God.
funny as fuck.
I wasn't kissing. I wasn't chewing gum.
Yeah. And then they took that scene out of
Oh my fuck.
where they put it up now. So I think it's on Disney Plus, and they took that scene out. And people were complaining about it. Like, why would they take that out? That is a funny ass scene. And it is. I mean, think about it. Your fucking stepbrother's over here making out with a girl. She's like, "Okay, that's fine." And then you go out and kiss somebody. Turns out it's a whole transgender guy. I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious.
Dude. That was a man.
It was funny. It was funny because he like spits out the gum, and he goes, "I wasn't chewing gum."
That's just as funny as fuck, bro. I would have been like, come back.
That shit would have been fun. That shit was funny. I remember watching that as a kid, and I was a little dying laughing.
That's what makes it funny. It's just like, thank you for that. Wait,
Yeah, because he goes, "Thanks." He's like, "Congratulations,"
congratulations.
or something like that, something along those lines.
Oh no, would have been fucking tripping balls.
And I just found that, like, as a kid, I found that funny. It was hilarious.
That shit is so stupid.
Yeah, bro. But nowadays, people just get so offended. Like, they get offended over the smallest things. It's ridiculous.
Especially, like I said, people who get offended on other people's
Yeah,
behalf.
on other
It's like,
people's
bro,
behalf.
just shut the fuck up, dude.
Not even
Damn
that.
it.
Not even that. Like, don't, you have a right to get offended too, but like, just cool it, bro. Like, really, like, if the guy's not really offended, like, just relax, bro.
Oh my mama, bro.
Like, for real, like, just calm down. But yeah, bro.
Take an edible.
No.
No, you don't want to. No,
No.
that shit was amazing though, dude.
It was, allegedly, I heard.
Allegedly.
It was pretty good, but I don't do drugs.
Like the one of it.
I don't do drugs. So
Wow,
I'm good, bro.
that was insane.
It was insane. But also another thing I wanted to talk about. Funny enough, it's funny because this is about the band Ghost. Okay. But it could also include any other band out there. So, not too long ago, Tobias Forge of the band Ghost, Tobias Forge of the band Ghost, put out a statement saying that the lore for the band will come to an end. And those people who are in it for the lore are going to have a rude awakening. Something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. So my question to you, bro, is, are you listening? For example, you love Sleep Token, right? By the way, Sleep Token, Vessel.
Yeah, look. Yeah, now look
Hold
at
on.
this fucking
No, hold
guy.
on.
Look at this
Hold
guy.
on,
Get a
dude.
load of this guy.
Hold on. I've been a little rough on you, baby. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You don't get to call him that.
I was not a fan of your music until Caramel came out.
Oh, my fucking hamstrings.
I started listening to Caramel, and I'll tell you this, man. It has become one of my favorite songs.
Fucking hamstrings.
One of my favorite songs. It's been on my repeat list for a cool minute now. It's pretty good. Like it. If you haven't listened to it, listen to Caramel by Sleep Token. But for example, for you, bro, you're a big fan of Sleep Token. For example, let me put it like this. I know I say for example a lot, but I put it like this. I'm a big fan of Ghost. I'm a huge fan of Ghost. I'm a die-hard fan of Ghost. I will go to the grave defending Ghost, right? For me, when he said that the lore was coming to an end, to me it didn't really matter. Why? Because I'm not in it for the lore. I mean, if the lore is good, right? You know, you have a lore, a little story of the band, a story within the band that of how it took. You know, they were a satanic clergy and all that other stuff. Like, it's an interesting little concept. It keeps you going, keeps you intrigued. But to me, it's not about the lore. It's about the music, right? I've always said that I'm gonna be a diehard Ghost fan as long as they don't do some techno shit, as long as they don't go Skrillex mode, or they completely change up from rock to like straight up. If Tobias Forge started rapping, I'm sorry, but I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that. I might listen to it, but I'm not gonna be a fan anymore, right? Same thing if he started doing, you know, some opera shit. I'm not gonna listen to that. Now, my question to you is, for example, again, there I go saying for example, put a for example counter up on the screen. You love Sleep Token, right?
Yeah.
And they have a lore going. So what if Vessel said, you know what, I'm gonna stop the lore and I'm just gonna release music? Will you still be a big fan of him?
I'll still listen to it, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still listen to it. I mean, the issue that I have with the lore Sleep Token is that it is very, very decryptive, and you have to put a lot of like thought into the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because if you just listen to, for example, the taking it back to Eden, you could say that it's about a relationship. It's about Eden talking about the Garden of Eden, how you want to go back to being with your significant other and being just in pure bliss when everything was.
It's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Because you could decrypt it and you could listen to that song in a manner of ways. It could be a love song. It could be a religious song. It could be so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's tongue in cheek, which is what you're saying. And that's part of the lore. Same thing with Ghost. Like, for example, there I go saying for example again. Now, think about it like this, bro. Now, let's say Sleep Token said, you know what? We're going to start performing without the masks. Would you still listen to them?
Yeah, I'll still listen to them. I mean, it would take some time to get used to it, though.
Yeah.
I think it would take not a very long time, but it would take some years, like a year or two, to get used to it, because people are very, very just used to seeing Vessel with the mask on and just seeing his lips and like the lower part of the lower part of his jaw.
Yeah.
That I think if you see like even without the paint, like the body paint too.
Yeah.
And the other bands, it would be very, 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 very fucking like, oh, so what the fuck?
I'm asking you that question because, again, Tobias Forge of Ghost did the same thing. So you've been a Ghost fan for quite some time now.
Yeah.
I've been a Ghost fan since 2016. I started listening to them during the Pop Emeritus III era, right after he got taken off stage. So technically during the Prequel era, beginning of Prequel. So anyway, I've always been used to seeing the frontman of Ghost, Tobias Forge, in a full-on mask, full silicone mask. So a while ago, I believe like 2 days ago, Tobias Forge had a Q&A in England, or near England, after his first concert. And a lot of people asked him, because if you don't know, that right there, that image of Ghost is no longer Ghost. It's now Papa 5 Perpetua, which is Tobias Forge in a half mask. So you could see his whole facial expressions now pretty much. And we talked about that in the review of Lacrima. It's very, very getting used to. And somebody asked him and said, how was the transition from a full mask to a half mask? And he said, and well, don't quote me on that, but he said something along the lines of, if the fans didn't like it and I had to go back to a full mask, I don't think I could perform again. And then everybody was like, oh, like a fucking TV show. Oh, gasp.
Yep.
And then he said, the reason why is because of my claustrophobia, right? And so a lot of them, and by a lot of them, I mean the majority of them that were there during the Q&A pretty much yelled out, you should have done that earlier. You know what I'm saying? My whole point of this is like, is a band because of the members that are in the band, or is the band because of the lore? Why do you listen to a specific person?
I mean, when it comes to Sleep Token, I didn't know jack shit about the lore or even how they look like when I first listened to them back in senior year of high school. I still remember it clear as day there in spring. I just looked up like heavy rock music or some shit, and it was Just Pretend by I was about to say Sleep Omens by Bad Omens, and it was Like a Villain by Bad Omens, and then it was Mine by Sleep Token, and they were both very good songs. But with Sleep Token, it's like I think what hooked me onto at least that song first was how it's very soft, melodic in the beginning with the piano, and then it becomes this grand guitar heaviness towards the end where it becomes louder. And I was like, this band's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think even on their Spotify, they had, I think, Vessel on it for a while, but I never paid attention to it like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. But I never listened to it because, Mine has a lore, or This Place Will Be Your Tomb has a lore or something like that. I just listened to it because it sounded really cool. And I didn't really mind the lore, the mask, the band members either.
Because believe it or not, a lot of people listen to certain artists because of what they, are representing. For example, a lot of people listen to Ghost because of the lore. I know a lot of people listen to Ghost because of the imagery. Same thing with me too. Like with Ghost, when I first started listening to them, I actually didn't even like the imagery. I hated the imagery. And I hated the lore aspect of it. But then I started kind of digging in, and it just seemed interesting, and the lore just became something else. Like a little treat to the side dish or to the main dish that I've already had. But or an appetizer, I should say. But I think a lot of people probably listen to Ghost, Sleep Token. What's another masked band? Slipknot, and other bands who are masked because of their lore, quote unquote. But that's a question for you to decide. And that's a question for you to answer yourself.
I mean, at some point it does make a difference. I think with Caramel, I think is a perfect example, at least with your question, is how when I first listened to Caramel, I was like, yeah, it's all right. I do like it a lot. However, it's all right, but I don't think I'm going to like it a lot until I saw people in the comments saying how it's about Vessel acknowledging the fans and how it's gone very, very, what's it called? People were stalking this motherfucker. People were leaking their addresses for the band members. They were leaking their addresses, their real names, and all this other shit, which is why there's a line in the song that says, I'm terrified to open up my front door. And when he's doing like the screaming parts and shit in that chorus, or in that part of the song, in the screaming parts, he says, in these days of days, I wish it all away. I thought things had changed, but it all stayed the same.
Yeah. And
how he says, in earlier the song, it's like when he does like when he says how they try to get a rise out of him by saying his real name.
Yeah.
People were deciphering it, saying how like, there's also a line there where he talks about how he doesn't want to complain about the fame he's gotten too, because then people are going to be like, oh, we got you famous and shit. If it was for us, you would have fucking be here, which is why, credits to him and the band members for being in the mask for so long and being completely like no interviews, no personal social media accounts, like they're interacting with fans and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes a band
and with that
more
song
interesting too, because it's like, go ahead, my fault.
To answer your question, like also with that Caramel song is like, I was like, it's all right, but then when I heard about like the lore of that song specifically, or like the deeper meaning of it,
yeah,
are songs like those where it's like, damn, like it really opens your eyes and shit too.
It does. Same thing with Ghost. When it comes to the whole mask thing, back when the whole Papa Emeritus thing was going on with Papa Emeritus the second, third, and even Cardinal. Anytime people would go to a concert, they would zoom in and then you could see Tobias's lips move under the lips of the mask that he had on, and people would, and I seen a lot, and I'm guilty of doing it too. I would say, damn, like that's crazy. Like it's crazy to see, his lips move, because I personally, as a consumer of the product of the band, I never saw Tobias Forge and the Papa characters as the same person. Even though I knew it was the same person, I never saw them as the same person, because so you would see Tobias do the interviews and all that other stuff, but then you wouldn't see the Papa character do any interviews. It's like you would see them as two different entities. Like I would see them like that, and to this day I still kind of do. So when we were reacting to the Lacrima video and I started, seeing the facial expressions, it kind of tripped me out, because I'm like, me as a fan, me as a consumer of Ghost, I am not used to seeing Tobias Forge, his lips move, his facial expression, him singing. It seemed like a whole different person, which is the whole point of the whole Papa character. But still, like, when you would see a new character, like, for example, the transition from 3 to Cardinal, it was like, okay, it's a different character, but it's the same person, if that makes sense. Now it's like, it's a different character and a different person, because now I'm seeing Tobias Forge's lips and him moving and him singing, the facial expression. And it's like, we're not used to that. And as a fan, and a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of people in the Ghost fandom are like, it's going to take a lot to get used to that. And I agree with them. It's going to get a lot. It's going to be a while for me to get used to that. But I'm already loving it. I've already seen some clips and stuff like that of the concerts. And it's very interesting.
It would kind of be the same for if Vessel, and I think that's what makes, Sleep Token's whole lore persona very, very unique, is how I would say, like, since day one, they were just kind of like, let's just not do any interviews just in case if we go big. Yeah. Shit. Like, we just want to protect our privacy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when it comes to, because when people talk about the writing of Sleep Token, they don't refer to Vessel's real name or to the band members' real names. They only mention Vessel because he literally is the heart and soul of the band.
Yeah.
He writes the guitars. Oh, sometimes the bass lines too. He composes almost everything except for the bass and the drums sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But you never mention the man underneath the mask and shit, which I think is really, really cool. And if there was a time where, fucking, I don't know, he's like, let me just take the hoodie off, so like y'all can see like my whole head now. Yeah. And now you can see my fucking hair. It'd be like, you could put the hoodie back on there.
Well, to be honest, me as a person, like, for example, I was saying for example again, in a way to show you my point of view, if I were to go to a Sleep Token concert now, right, and see them in hoods and stuff like that, not really as a big consumer of Sleep Token, I'd be like, that's pretty good, that's pretty dope. And then I saw them a year or so later without the hoods and without mask, I'm gonna be like, well, I think it was better when they were maxed up and hooded up and stuff like that. Because my whole point is, like, in my eyes, that makes a band interesting. Having a whole persona, having a whole character thing like Ghost and Sleep Token and all these people that are masked up. Obviously, you have to have talent. But in my eyes, that makes it a lot more interesting, because it's like, okay, like, that's who's behind that, or that's actually kind of it beats from going to see a person dressed in jeans and a regular t-shirt play guitar. In my eyes, it's a lot better to go see a whole character, somebody in a mask to go play guitar. And now you're like, ooh, that's very anonymous. Ooh, it's crazy.
And I think Slipknot's pretty cool with it too, because when you look at, especially, let's say, Corey Taylor, we've all seen this motherfucker perform without the masks and without the whole Slipknot, persona and shit. And I think if they had just one concert just to say fuck it, and they did everything in fucking basic ass clothing, no masks, people be like, it
would be kind of weird.
It wouldn't be as menacing because their masks and shit do look like really like. I don't know what the word is, but it's very like.
That's the point I'm trying to make too. For example, I can't. This is gonna be called a for example episode. Think about it like this, bro. I've seen Corey Taylor perform some songs from Slipknot without the mask, and it's like it doesn't really fit him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he performs it with the mask, it's like he's playing a character, and that's what makes it interesting too. But that's another topic for another day. Start the video. I mean the outro song.
The video, bro. We're in the loop.
I gotta go take a shit, bro.
This fucker gotta take a shite.
I gotta go take a sleep token real quick.
Oh my god, play it. Who up car biting they nano right now?
What?
Who up car biting they nano right now? You wouldn't get it. If you know, you know.
I don't get it.
Drop it in the
Ladies
comments.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the two genders, thank you so much for being with us in another episode of an unhinged, unnamed podcast.
Also, fuck you, Dave Portnoy.
I don't know who that is.
The guy who stole the fucking our shine from the YouTube shits.
I don't know who that
If you
is.
look up an unnamed podcast, it shows his bullshit first. An unnamed show.
What?
Yeah. If you look up an unnamed podcast, you don't see our shit anymore as number one.
For real?
Yeah, it just shows his shit as an unnamed show. So we don't come up on like we're on there. We're like right underneath one of his videos.
Look. All I'm gonna say is be original.
Oh my mama, man.
We were the first ones with an unnamed podcast.
Literally.
Just saying. That was unique. That came from our brains.
Yeah. He always steals the credit, just so you know.
Because it was my fucking idea.
I don't know, man.
It was my idea.
We'll see about that one day.
Stop the music real quick. If you go back to our original episode 1,
Yeah.
right? It was technically originally supposed to be me and the homie Kuro, right? And we were gonna call it Two Brothers, and that's what we called it for a while. And then I said, well, let's just leave it as an unnamed podcast for now. And that's when I told you, oh shit, there's a name, an unnamed podcast. Just saying, I came up with the name.
There's always two sides to the story.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, but fuck off, Dave. Dave, you fucking took our fucking shine. and
No
shit.
hate, Dave. I don't even know who you are, Dave, but no hate. Much love. We're not negative here in an unnamed podcast. We're very positive.
So negative, and I'm gonna watch you this time.
Okay, negative.
Yeah.
Negative as in like, don't be so negative?
Yes. What
Okay.
other fucking term, dude?
I'm just saying, bro. The English language is very, very tricky. Negative.
Yeah.
N.
Yeah.
E. G. E. T. I-V-E. Negative.
Yeah, man. Awesome spelling 90. That was amazing. And you,
That's-
sheesh.
Who needs fucking school? That's all I'm
Who
saying.
needs a fucking watch to fucking figure that shit out,
I'm
man?
just saying, bro.
Fucking twat.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the two genders out there, I feel like if you feel like there's more than one gender,
there is one more than one.
it's up to you. I mean, more than two genders, you know, more power to you. We don't discriminate. I'm just saying, dude. Look,
Oh, just
honestly,
put the fries in the bag.
Okay, bet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for being here tonight on another episode of an unnamed podcast. Copyright that. I have been your host with the most. Tobias for sponsor us. Each bit 90 or simply just 90. With co-host
Lord Salt.
Lord Salt
Yeah.
69.
Yep.
I think you should just stick with Lord Squid.
I was gonna rebrand my shit to just the squid. That's
You
not
should, bro.
That's fucking fire.
Or Lord S.
no, that's fucking shit.
Lords.
No.
Anyway,
the squid is
ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
the squiggy.
We'll see you guys on the Squiggy. We'll see you guys on the next episode. And like always, we love you. Thank you for the new subscribers. What's up? Welcome back. Welcome. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Sabrina Carpenter could fucking get it. That's all I'm saying.